Thanks for visiting the office. I want to take some time to talk to you about just one of the reasons that border security is so important. You know, too often we think that border security is an issue only involving immigration. That couldn't be further from the truth. Border security has broad implications, not only for my state of Ohio, but for our country. Ohio's been ground zero for the opioid epidemic and heroin pouring into our country. Recently, I read the book Dreamland, which tells the story in great detail of how opioids devastated Portsmouth, Ohio, and how it led to a heroin abuse throughout the state. This very detailed document tracks the flow of drugs from a small town in Mexico to communities and neighborhoods across the entire United States. Routes that surprisingly have no obstacles for drug traffickers and dealers. What's very clear is that crossing our borders with drugs that kill us is easy. It talks about cartels using customer service to deliver just like pizza delivery. Drug dealers would prey on the most vulnerable, waiting outside at treatment centers to tempt people on shaky ground, people that are early in their recovery, that are trying to get back from being in addiction. Here's the sad reality: drugs pouring over our borders are devastating our communities. The Council on Foreign Relations found that most of the fentanyl and heroin in the United States came over the southern border. U.S. Customs and Border Protection reported that 99.8% of methamphetamine seized in the U.S. came through the southern border. Burying our heads in the sand will not solve this urgent problem. To truly curb the flow of illicit drugs into our communities, we must secure our border. Sadly, gridlock in Washington has stopped any possible progress towards securing the border, and I hope that changes. To date, the solutions proposed by Democrats have been to leave the status quo or even more open borders than we have now. Open borders would make this situation worse and would welcome even more drugs and violence across our border. Providing funding for border security, it's not a political point, it's our duty. This is about keeping Americans safe, keeping deadly illicit drugs out of our country, protecting American families, and our precious lives. I'm Brad Wenstrup. Thanks for visiting the office.